Hello. Welcome back. I thought I'd come to you today with a tag. We're gonna do the end of the year book tag, which I'm sort of late to. I always think of the end of the year book tag around this time, and then I realize everybody else did it like 2 months ago. It is what it is. Some of these questions might be slightly modified given the fact that I have like 5 weeks to do all the things I said I'm gonna do in 2021 instead of like 4 months when you're supposed to do this tag. But yeah, I'm bad with follow through anyway, so we're just gonna do a little chatsy and yeah, let's get to the prompts. The first prompt is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And the answer is yes, definitely, absolutely. I'm very bad at picking up books and putting them down and being in the middle of like 10 books at a time. So let's just go through the top line items that I would actually like to get done. Big one for me is finishing Tana French's Faithful Place. I got very into this at the end of October, and then Nonfiction November hit, and I was like, oh, I should focus on that. So I've gotten just sort of out of the groove of reading this one. I was supposed to read the rest of this weekend, actually, because I'm supposed to lend it to somebody, but that's not happening. Anyways, another book that I really, really want to finish is How to Write an Autobiographical Novel by Alexander Chee. This book I started, I think, in like April. It is an essay collection, which I generally go through rather slowly and spottily, but I'm at the point where I think I have 2 essays left, so I definitely should finish this by the end of the year, just for like, getting a book off the list. Less sure I'm gonna finish these guys, but I am still... Am I even still reading this? I feel like you guys haven't seen this guy since like May. I have still 130 pages left of Authority. Sort of funnily, I'm currently reading a book called Entangled Life. Put that one over here. Entangled Life, about fungi, and it's gotten me way more into reading this one again because fungi remind me of weird eco-aliens for some reason. Eco-aliens? I don't even know what that means. I feel like if you've read this book or read the first in this series, you might sort of see the connection. I don't know if it's logical, but it's there. So I do want to finish this. I'm sort of at the point where I'm like, do I actually have to start over to like remember what's going on? Maybe I'll just read a synopsis. We'll see. And then we have the fungi book, which I just mentioned. And then last, I have not been hitting a book a week this year. So am I going to finish all these books in the next couple weeks? Probably not. But another one I could hopefully maybe finish would be Begin Again, which is about James Baldwin and his writing, especially his late writing and sort of like his place in the literary canon, I guess. Sort of a difficult to describe book, but it's about the author's personal relationship with James Baldwin's writing, and also its place in the late 20th century. And yeah, I am not very far into this one, but I would really like to finish it. So that's question 1. Question 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And no, not really. I mean, I am reading about fungus right now. Again, Entangled Life. I'm really enjoying that book. The fungi are wild. Anyways, I bring that up because I sort of think of mushrooms as like autumnal. And I don't really know why. I think it's like the red spotted cap mushrooms that you see in like Christmas ornaments or like fall decor. I don't know. I think it fits. We're just going to go with it. Question 3 is there any new releases you're still waiting for? Again, we're very close to the end of the year. I think the closest to this would be Ross Douthat's new book, which is called Deep Places, a memoir of illness and discovery. And it's about Ross's experience with chronic Lyme disease. And I very rarely ask for early copies of books. But I did ask for this one, but I did not get it. But I do really want to read it. I just don't want to read it in hardback. So we'll see. I'll probably be able to get an ebook from the library. But yeah, this one really is interesting to me because I know people who have suffered from chronic Lyme and also chronic fatigue syndrome. in sort of like interrelated ways. And it's just something that I'm always interested in from both sort of a scientific and a personal perspective. So I will be giving that a read, probably not by the end of the year, but generally, yes, that one. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? And I think I'm basically going to say all those books that I'm in the middle of, because again, like, we don't got a lot of time left, but Ton of French, I would really love to finish this one. Alexander Chee should not be difficult. And also the fungi book, The Untitled Life. Also, if we're talking about new books that I haven't started yet, I did just pick up 2 new paperbacks from the bookstore today because I can't help myself. So I did pick up Marilyn Robinson's Gilead, which I have been meaning to read since like middle school. I feel like I really don't do a good job of prioritizing literary fiction, and I would like to change that a bit next year, but I also realize it's one of these things where, like, you know, if you don't have the emotional energy to engage with like a very emotionally engaging story, it's sort of hard to appreciate what you're reading. So that's always something that I've struggled with, but I am hoping to read this soon. I always pick up books with the idea like, oh, I'm going to pick this up like immediately, and then they sit on my shelves forever. So anyways, I also picked up a book by Eula Biss, who I think she's most famous for writing On Inoculation, which is about immunity and vaccines from sort of like a literary perspective, I think. So that would be a cool book right now if you're interested in picking up some of her writing. But this is about home ownership, basically. I think it's sort of like a personal book about her experience buying a home and sort of like the ethics behind home ownership in the US specifically. And I think I mentioned this on a video last year, probably. But I was waiting for it to come out in paperback, and now it's out in paperback, and now I want to read it. So there we go. Those 2 I would also love to read. You know, this is the great thing about BookTube. I can name all the books, and then you don't need me to actually read them. Ugh. Question number 5 is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And I think out of these, there are some good contenders, actually. I have not had a great reading year overall, so both Entangled Life could be a really good nonfiction one. I don't know, like, obviously I'm sort of obsessed with that one right now, but basically, like, the beginning has been very engaging, but I'm only, I think, about like 40 pages in. So we'll see. The marathon is what matters. We'll see how it ends up. And then also Faithful Place, I really like Ton of French, and like I think that could probably easily be one of my favorite fiction books of this year. Although it would be hard to beat Ancillary Justice. I realize I haven't given a reading update, like a wrap up, in like 4 months. So you don't know what books are competing against each other here. Let me know if you want like just a greatest hits of the last couple months, or maybe I'll do like one of those wrap up of the years where you do like each book summarized by a sentence or something. I don't know how to like get back on track with that stuff. Let me know in the comments. Okay, and then we're on the final question already. The last question is, have you already started making plans for your reading next year? And the answer is actually yes. I am doing a buddy read with Shannon over at That's So Poe. We are going to be reading Laziness Does Not Exist in January. I just need to get my shit together and, you know, get the book, get on Voxer. If anybody's on Voxer wants to connect, I need to do that. But yeah, that's my one reading plan. I think I'm excited about it because Shannon has assured me that she is also a real big DNFer. So like if I DNF it, it's not going to be a huge deal in terms of like buddy reading problems. But yeah, that's a book that I've always been really, really excited to read. Trying to temper my expectations here, but I think it's going to be a great read in January to sort of like counter a lot of the New Year's like let's get it energy. You know what I mean? That's the end of the tag. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you with another video soon. Bye!